So I would think about negative shit, but I wouldn't give into it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the first pattern of thought and activity too. Like if I have a pattern of thought that I see is helpful as far as how I personally perceive things, I would give it a shot. I would like I would do it until it starts to make a change in the way I do things, me personally. So I've been doing that or working on that for some time now, like for some time. You know what I mean? I can't really put a particular date on it, but it's been a while. First time saying that, it's been years ago. You know what I'm saying? It might have been 7 years, who knows? I just know the shit be happening within completion in a certain time. And that time be relevant to like 7 years sometimes. If you can focus on it, it falls in that time frame. Who's to say I'm not correct? So it changed, right? It was just this new. I'm sitting down. I was dealing with a few things yesterday, and certain small energies would have me like this or like that. And I remember the first time it actually took place. It was like, and it's a familiar thought. I remember this being a familiar interjection into the circumstance as far as an ideal. And it would come in, and I'd be like, man, that's some bullshit, right? And then I noticed looking at it when I said it the first time, and it wasn't solidified as it's supposed to have been, like if I had said it before unconsciously, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I noticed that it wasn't solidified. I noticed that it wasn't stable for some reason, like it was shaky. And I'm watching it as one part of my mind says that. So then the day goes on, it's mad windy, yo. Like the sun is out, but mad fucking windy, yo. Like mad cold, blowing mad cold air. And I'm like, this shit different. And it's like I was trying to light a fire. And I did, but it just didn't burn right for some reason. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like, I mean, I'm so in tune to shit. Yeah, I seen the wind and everything else, but I'm looking deeper than that. I'm looking like at molecules and shit. I'm looking deeper than that. I'm looking at reactions and how the reaction is supposed to be taking place. The heat friction, and I pay so close attention to shit. Like I watch shit at the smallest, whatever. So I'm like, yo, the energy off. I need to know why the energy off. So I stayed to myself. For the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like all the day, I stayed to myself. And I remember later that day, a thought came in retrospect to whatever else was going on, and I automatically was like, "Motherfuckers be playing," and then I was like, I responded to that shit. Like it's the first time. I mean, I talked to myself, but never like this before. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the thought came, and when the thought came, I was like, me personally, I was like, "Why you see it like that?" And the thought said, because that's just what it is, some bullshit. And I was like, what separates you from that? You know what I'm saying? Like we literally had a fucking crazy ass dialogue. And it was like the energy was stopped at the door somehow. Like that energy that comes in from wherever it comes in, you know what I'm saying? And it enters into you and helps paint the narrative of the idea that you may personally run with, thinking that that came from you. It's like it stopped right at the door. And I was able to like talk with it. Like, yo, what you keep coming here for? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, you always come here. Why you come here for? And it was and that was the that was the circumference of the energy, but the questioning was slightly different, you know what I'm saying? The questioning was more in the value of changing the format. I noticed that it wasn't completely a part of me. And that was the deep part. Like, I noticed that it wasn't me. I noticed that it was an energy that's accepting. And it's crazy because I was talking to this in another joint when I was speaking about energies that you get from the universe and from the earth, but you're pulling in surrounding energies that could actually fill you up to the point to where you might be blocking what's above and below coming into you. So this was me literally getting a chance to grab one lightning bolt of information that came in, stopping it and assessing that energy. I implore you to try to sit down and assess the way you think about shit. Ask yourself why are you even thinking that at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And then assess that knowledge and how it's affecting your thought pattern to the aspect of control.